Hello, hello. Hello. This is Rachel, my friend from Kansas City, one of our KC cookiers.
Hello.
She is Rachel from Sweet Ideas by Rachel. And she's here tonight to show us some things that she likes to do on her cookies. Let me turn this just a little. Okay. Watercoloring is one of her specialties that she likes to do. And then also stencils, and I've made some stencils for her. And hi Maxine, we're doing the Cinco de Mayo theme. So, and then we may have, if we have time, there may be a couple of extras that she can do for teacher appreciation. I don't know though. I'm not gonna make any promises on that one. So, I'm Nancy Westfall from the Colorful Cookie Stencil Studio, and I am from Overland Park near Kansas City. And every so often, I am trying to have my cookie friends come on and just do a little tutorial so that you can see what they do, and they enjoy coming, and I enjoy having them, and it's just a lot of fun. So if you know anybody who's a cookier, share this live with them so they can watch this tutorial. The more people, the better, the more fun we have interacting. That's the fun part about lives, is that you can interact. So anyway, I wanted to see if anyone had any questions for me before we got started. Normally I have the Thursday Live in my Facebook group, but not this time. I wanted everybody to be able to watch, not just for my group. So I'm assuming that you would rather talk cookies tonight instead of stencils, but I'll be back in my groups checking posts in there too later on this evening if you do have any questions about the stencils that you're working on. So, okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Rachel and let her talk for just a second, and then when she is done talking and it's time for her to teach, I'm going to actually move the iPad and point it down on her so that you can watch her as she's working. So Rachel, take it away.
Hi, so I'm from Sweet Ideas. That's my cookie business, and I'm in Kansas City as well, in like the Waldo area on the Missouri side. So I want to say up front, I am not a watercolor artist. I just really enjoy watercolor. This is stuff that I've watched a lot of YouTube videos and learned. I do want to say,
I think that's how most of us learn. We all have a YouTube education, and that's how I learned when I started doing cookies also.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, so we know all the cookiers, and I know people by cookie names and not their real names. So when someone says a person's first name, I'm like, I don't, who is that? What's their cookie name?
Yeah,
so.
That's definitely what happens all the time. But I wanted to say too, on YouTube, I watched a lot of watercolor artists, not just cookie watercolor people.
Oh, so you just watched artists do this? Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of just learned tips and tricks from actual watercolor artists and tried to translate that into cookies.
Do you recall any of their names?
Yeah, a really awesome one that I still like to follow a lot is Mr. Otter's Studio. That's what it was.
O-T-T-E-R?
O-T-T-E-R. Pretty cool. They have like a lot of just things to not do with watercolor, and just basic, like I'm going to show you a couple things that I learned from that I
and
translated.
their canvas is, you know, just a little bit different than ours, but it probably goes on the same.
Yeah.
So are there any people that watercolor that are cookiers that stick out that you recall that you like to watch?
Well, Angela Johnson.
Yeah, Angela from The Painted Box.
The Painted Box.
Oh yes, and I've watched so many of her videos too. I think we've all seen. And if you need to know how to mix watercolors, check on YouTube, search The Painted Box, and she has a tutorial on how to mix watercolors using Amerigel, and it's awesome, and that's how I learned to do it. So,
and then I was going to say another, I feel like Cornelia's has maybe done one before. Yeah. Early on in my early cookie learning days.
Yeah.
That's when
And Artie Magoo also does tutorials in Magoo U, and she may do some on her regular blog, but she has the Magoo U, which is a monthly subscription, and she does some really cool watercolors, and she does the writing with the water pens.
Oh yes, I haven't tried that yet, but
yeah, I've tried that
to-do
too.
list.
Yeah, well I've got some I'll loan you.
Okay, thanks. So I wanted to kind of talk about the things that I use for watercolor. She mentioned she mixes her own through the tutorial the painted box used.
The Angela, it's just regular Amera gel colors with Everclear. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't use Everclear with mine because I use just my gel colors. I don't really have just one. I think some of them are Wilton, maybe. I know, Chef Master.
You use all different brands.
I use all different.
And I do too.
Yeah.
I say Amera Gel because that's the main one that I use, but I use a Chef Master. And
I use all of them, and I just use the color and water. That's all I use. So the problem with using water on your icing, though, is that it will start to pit your icing. Because if you add water, that's how we dilute it. That's how we flood our cookies.
So you have to be careful.
So you have to be careful. Yeah, you can't go over.
So have you ever tried any vanilla or lemon? Is it lemon? Some people say they use lemon.
Yeah,
or
I haven't tried that.
Yeah.
I have tried using Everclear with my colors, just without mixing it with the whole process and filtering it, and that just doesn't work very well at all. The color gets.
Where's your paint palette? Because you can reconstitute this and use it over and over because it dries. I mean, it kind of dries. It doesn't dry solid.
Yeah. So it's like sticky.
It's like a paint. Like you know when you're a kid and you buy the Crayola paints and the little palettes. That's exactly what it's like, and you just wet it.
Yeah, and then I can just mix it with water again and then use it.
Yeah.
So that's because I just haven't had the time to. I've wanted to filter and mix my own before, but I just haven't had the time, which I know is the case for a lot of people. So.
I have some bottles I'll give you, and I even have Everclear. When you go to the liquor store and you buy like 3 bottles of Everclear, you get strange looks. And I always say, I'm just a cookie decorator, and I know it's weird, but I use it to decorate cookies. So.
Yeah, I always say it's a party when you have it's a cookie party when you have vodka and Everclear at the party.
Yeah,
that's what we use to vodka. You clean your airbrush with.
I do. I buy vodka too. I buy the cheapest vodka I can buy, but I buy the Everclear for my paints. But you know, another thing that I have heard, and I know that Jenny from Creative Cookier always says you don't put Everclear in your airbrush because, sorry guys, turn my phone off, because it will corrode the metal inside of your airbrush. So, you know, I do mix my colors with Everclear, and I have used that in my airbrush before, only a couple times. So if I'm going to run it through my airbrush, I will mix my my paints with, or my gel colors with some Everclear. I mean, not Everclear, vodka. Because you can put that through your airbrush and it's not as corrosive as the Everclear because that's some pretty strong stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. The smell gets me every time with that Everclear when I open it up.
Wow. It burns your nose.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it feels like going down.
So the other tip I wanted to say is that, I don't know, a lot of cookie decorators or just people that buy a lot of eggs, you might have these styrofoam things that are on top of your egg. I cut them up and I use them as my little paint palette. So, because I really try to reuse everything that I use for my business. I try to recycle as much. And so I can use these, and you can use them for your classes. I know a lot of people do that. So, yeah, cool. Hi, Mom.
Mom! Where's Mom?
Right there, Carmela.
Carmela! Hi, Carmela. Not my mom, Rachel's mom.
So that's what I primarily use as my things because it's cheap. You already bought it, so
yeah, might as well reuse it. No kidding. Do you want to talk about your brushes before we?
Yes. Okay, so what I've found from the watercolor artists that I've watched on YouTube is the best ones for watercolor are flat brushes and round brushes. And these are not
close if you want to.
And like these are not super expensive. I mean, I just went to the craft store and got them.
So what do they call? Are there names for these?
Just like this one's a flat brush.
Okay.
Sorry, one's just
camera.
These
are
flat.
See, they're narrow, and this one is round.
Which it's a little frayed because.
Is it called round and flat?
Just round and
I'm
flat.
trying to think of something flat and round. Flat and round. I'm trying to, make a fancy word for these paintbrushes. This is flat, guys. Flat and round. Okay.
And then I have just a little round one for some details. It's really tiny. It's actually...
We're backwards.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I think.
It's my first
No, we're not backwards, but the camera must be over here.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just tiny for details. It's also the same one that I used to to paint my gold on to some of my cookies.
Yeah,
so.
because I'm terrible when I try to paint gold on. I don't care how hard I try. I'm not steady-handed. I get it everywhere. But what about this one?
So that one.
What do you guess this one's called, guys?
Oh, and
what do you think?
Like
If you can tell me, do you like this brush? And do you know what it's called? Comment, because I have no idea. I can guess, but
I actually don't know what it's called.
I think it's called.
Oh, here we go. I got it.
Look.
We have an answer.
Feathered? Is it feathered?
No. So the thing I wanted to mention about these brushes, the flat and round, from what I've read, for watercolor, you want as soft as possible. You do not want these to be stiff.
Did you buy a certain kind? Are they like sable? Are they expensive? Are they cheap?
So these three,
I buy the cheap ones.
This, I don't know where it came from. This probably came from Michael's or a craft store.
And I always use a coupon, guys. You can. Oh, fan brush. That's what I was thinking, Kathy.
Yeah, it's a bristle fan brush.
Yeah. You're the winner. I don't know. Kim guessed. She just typed can instead of fan, I think. Yeah. Oh, the brand of brush.
So these three, I was going to say, I got the other.
This is generic.
Yeah, that's generic from some store. These three with the green handle, I got at a craft store downtown. Actually, it's in Westport.
Is it Dick Blick?
No, it's actually in Westport. It's called Cold Snow's Art Store. Oh. So it's pretty cool. You can, sign up for rewards.
Yeah. And they do carry all these brushes at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and Joann, and like I said, take your coupon.
Yeah, take your coupon.
Or if you have an art store, I guess.
Yeah, that art store was having a good sale, so
yeah,
pretty cool.
Well, and we need to support local businesses.
Yes, support local.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the bristle brush. So this is thicker. It's not soft. And this is what I'll use for one of the techniques I'll show you. It's a splatter. A lot of people also use a toothbrush.
Here, I'll hold this
instead.
up. Oh, I use a toothbrush when I splatter. That's the fan. Oh, can? Is it a can brush, Kim? Huh.
On the thing it says bristle fan.
Can. Maybe it is. Yes, local all the way. You're right, Jennifer. So this is a can brush, fan brush. Anyway, that's what it looks like. But I use a toothbrush. Yeah. You know when you go to the dentist, they give you an extra toothbrush. Filbert brushes too. Those are good, Sherry. I've heard of filbert, but I don't know which shape that is. So anyway, or when you go to a hotel and you can ask for a toothbrush. They're just little, and you know what? The bristles aren't perfect for splattering because they're cheap toothbrushes. They probably cost a nickel, really. Yeah. And they are perfect. So if you go to a hotel, tell them you forgot your toothbrush, could you have one, and they'll give you the perfect paintbrush for splattering.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. You like to use your egg carton. Yeah. I like to reuse my
reuse your toothbrush.
No.
Not reuse. Not reuse now.
I know. Don't think I'm reusing the toothbrush. I'm not. It's packaged and everything. So. Filberts are rounded, but they're flat. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Like my eye makeup brush that I put my eye. It's round, but it's very flat. I gotcha. Yeah. Thanks, Sherry.
That's cool. I did not know that. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, so I think
do you want to show them how you mix your colors before you start?
Sure. Yes.
She's gonna here. I'll just give you the colors you need. She's gonna show you how she makes her colors before she starts.
So really, I mean, all I do is I'll put a drop of each color that I want in here, and this is like my my main color source, and then I will take another palette, and that's where I will mix my watercolor. It's like if you think of like a watercolor palette that you get, and it comes, in the long thing, and then you open it up and you use the lid as your mixer. That's basically what I'm going to use this for. Yeah. So I have kind of two palettes that I come out of. Did you want to switch the camera?
Yeah, I will. I'm good. My son is texting me, and he doesn't know I'm live apparently, so I'm telling him, don't text me. No texting.
So since I already have a couple of these colors, I'm going to put the purple in here.
Okay,
and
so
I'm just getting a drop in here.
Okay, I'll go around and move this. Hold on just a second. Let me, there. Maybe nobody will text me now.
The other
thing pops up also, on my iPad when they text me. Okay, so you want to go ahead and talk about the bowls?
So with watercolor, you don't need bowls, but you need 2 cups or 2 things of water. you want one to clean your brush with, and then the other is to use for your water for your color, so you're not contaminating your color.
I see. Yeah. That's what I taught my kindergartners. Although they never cared, and I really didn't either. But some kids. Hold on, guys. I'm going to move you around. Some kids care about that, and some kids don't. And the kids who really care about that, you know, they're going to be the particular ones when they grow up. And the ones who don't care are usually truly creative and really good artists. Okay, so let me lift you guys up here. Rachel, you're gonna have to look and tell me if they can see you. Hold on. Oh, just a second. Scoot this up as far as it'll go. Okay. So, what are you seeing in there?
Maybe tilt it this way.
Not that way, huh?
Just take the whole thing in.
That way?
Yeah, I think that's good. It's a little dark though.
Here, I have a light.
Okay.
I brought a light for this.
Oh, you might have to just put the airbrush. Or, okay.
There you go. Better?
I think that makes it too light now.
Oh,
sorry.
That's okay. Here, maybe I just don't need to point it down. How about that?
You think that's good?
Oh. I'll adjust it. Go ahead.
Okay.
When I get there. Let me turn this on.
Okay, so I have my colors. I'm just going to, so it might be a good idea just so you know which one's going to be your
How's that?
cleaning.
Does that look better?
No, it's still pretty. Yeah, it's still too bright. Yeah.
Hi, Tammy. Better?
Can you lift it up maybe?
Yeah. You tell me.
Still too bright.
Wow, and it's not here. Maybe I just need to turn the light off.
Oh, okay. I think that's better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Let's just turn the light off.
Okay. Okay, I think we're good now.
Guys, can you see?
Are we
Way
good
too
now?
bright. Yeah. Is that better?
Is that better?
Oh, and look, I have my shirt on from, I need to make you a shirt. From the So Fancy file I showed you guys. This one said Stress Blessed and Cookie Obsessed, and I got it. The designers on So Fancy, I requested some for cookie ears, and they made a bunch. And so anyway, this is from one of the designs that said Stress Blessed and Cookie Obsessed, and it said Pound Cookie Life underneath. And so I took that part of the element of the design and made a separate shirt.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right, so now you can see what she's doing here.
Oh, perfect. Cool. All right, so I was telling you that it's probably a good idea to label your bowls or your cups or whatever you got, just so you remember. So this one's going to be my cleaning one. This one's going to be my watercolor one.
I'm going to scoot this more toward you.
Okay.
So they can see you.
And so,
Go ahead. I was just going to move your plate.
oh,
So you don't knock it off.
Good idea.
Not that it would hurt, but okay.
because I am left-handed.
That's right. I saw that.
Okay, so I'm just going to...
Teachers always notice what hand people
Hydrate.
write with and how they hold their pen and pencil, by the way. Kindergarten teachers do. First grade teachers do.
So I'm just hydrating my color a little bit just so it doesn't dry out as I go. So it's just going to sit there and it'll be there when I need it. Now, a couple things I'm going to show you. This is...
You can hold it closer.
Closer?
Yep. That way. Yep.
This way. Okay.
Perfect.
So this is just an easy gradient that I'm going to show you. So going from one color to another, this is really light yellow to red. So that's the first one I'm going to show you. Then this one is kind of like a splatter effect. So I did two different colors, kind of like the Mexican colors to go with Cinco de Mayo. And so it's like a, oh, did I say splatter? I meant to say spider.
You said splatter.
Oh, okay.
You meant spider?
Yes, I meant spider effect. So you're going to drop drops on there and it's going to kind of spider out a little bit.
You do that right when you put the color down, and so when you spray it, it's kind of like an alcohol, like artists will put their color down and spray it with alcohol and it makes it disperse. Yeah.
And then the good old splatter, paint splatter, which is so fun. It's a really cool, just like easy background thing to do, and
I like that.
looks super artsy. And then I'm going to show you kind of how to just draw a little bit with watercolor.
Ooh, I like that. That's pretty.
So what I did here a little bit was I let it dry a little bit, then put more color on. This, I kind of lifted it up a little bit to get highlights. So I'll show you kind of how to do that.
So did you, the darker areas, did you go over those twice after they dried and then you went back over it again?
No, what I did is I just used less water.
Oh, on the lighter, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought maybe you hit it twice.
So that's another thing, glad you brought that up. You want to try not to go over your cookie as much as possible. You want to try to just do a one and done on your swipes.
Yeah.
Because unlike watercolor paper, it doesn't absorb, like watercolor paper will absorb your color and your water and everything, but this is not friendly.
If you're a painter or a faux painter, we call that biting, so it bites into the front. But I'm sure people may be wondering, and guys, if you're asking questions, I'll go back at the end and I'll respond and I'll type, because I don't have anybody to do that for me. But ask any questions you want to know about watercoloring or royal icing or stencils or whatever, and I'll go back through and read that later, and Rachel and I can both answer.
Yeah.
But tell about your icing, because a lot of people will say, well, do you put corn syrup in your icing? Do you put glycerin in it? You know, what makes a good gliding surface for watercolors?
Yeah. So a lot of people do a lot of different things. This is what I do. I have one recipe that I use. I use royal icing, and I just use meringue powder in mine. I don't put glycerin and I don't put glucose. It's
nothing
just
extra.
nothing extra. I just you want your cookie to be as flat as possible, and then you also want your icing to be as flat and smooth as possible. So how you get that, to get your cookie as flat as possible, there's a couple ways. When you get it out of the oven, just either take your spatula and go very carefully so you don't get into your cookie because it'll be soft, but just go over it and just flatten it with your spatula.
And I use my fondant smoother, but you know what? My cookies have been, well, I do it when they're too hot, and so I've cracked 2 of those. They crack because of the heat from it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to do it pretty quickly out of the oven.
Yeah, and I have, and they're still hot, but I have a perfect spatula for that I need to start using.
The other way, which might help you, you have to do it very carefully again because your cookies are going to be super soft when they come out of the oven, but just flipping it over really fast so that the weight of your cookie makes it flat.
See, I'm not very, I don't know what you call it, tender-handed. I'm not very tender, and if I did that, I'd break every cookie.
So that's another thing, and I don't think I would do it with a big cookie. It would just be like a little guy that I would use
something
it for.
small.
So.
Yeah.
So that's a couple ways to make your cookie flat. Are you using gel color? I'm using gel color. I've tried using my airbrush color, but I don't feel like the airbrush colors give me as vibrant a color that I like. The gel colors I feel like are pretty vibrant to get the dark spots like on this cookie, like that and that. So, okay, so your icing. So cookie eaters would know this, but we do like flooding, and that's how you can get your icing super flat. And that's just diluting your icing. So when you make your icing, you want it kind of thick, but then you just dilute it. You're welcome. Hi, Faye. And so you just dilute it to make it smoother, or what's the word for
well, like there's 20-second icing, there's 10-second icing.
Yeah,
I never counted my
I never
seconds.
counted either.
I just knew the feel that I liked.
Yeah.
But I can see you do a line to pipe the outside to form the dam, and then you flood in the center. Yeah.
Yeah, I do a line.
Turn it
kinda,
just a little bit.
It's kind of like a dam.
I don't know if they can see that.
See
No,
that?
probably not. But she does pipe an outline, and then she floods in the middle. So
you might be able to see it on this.
Is your piping outline? Do you pipe with a thicker, or your outline is
like
thicker?
a
I always use the same consistency for both.
Yeah, I pretty much always do this with my cookies. I'll make an outline, and then I'll make a pretty, with water. Yeah, I'm diluting it with water, Annie. All right. Okay, so I dilute it pretty thin, so it's going to be pretty thin. I add a lot of water. That way, when I put it in, it just goes into a flat surface. I really don't have to push it into the corners as much. It just will be flat. And then I make sure I try to dry it as quickly as I can. So I'll put the fan on the highest setting, because I found that makes it smooth.
Have you ever used a dehydrator?
I have, well, once when I was at the Cookie Rehab, which I want to kind of plug. Cookie Rehabs are awesome. They're by Creative Cookier with Jenny, and she's got one on a cruise coming up.
Next in September,
so,
of 19. But they have one starting tomorrow.
Oh.
That Cindy, that was in our last live, Cindy and Mandy, they are actually going to Cookie...
New Jersey? No.
Yeah, it's at Cape May, and they're in at Cookie Rehab, which starts tomorrow, and Cindy's teaching.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
So
I sure wish I should. So
Annie gets bubbles with flood consistency. You know what, Annie? I used to have a horrible time with bubbles until, and I don't know if you do this or not, until I started putting, when I make my royal icing, I put white Amerigel in it, and I don't know why, but I quit having, I mean, I still have some, don't get me wrong, but I quit having near as many bubbles. And also, I learned, because at first I had tons of bubbles, but when I was mixing it, I was going way too fast and using
that's what I was going to say.
But I love these little kinds of spatula. Now this one came from Creative Cookier, but you can get these at other places. But this spatula doesn't allow a lot of air to get into your, so you want as little air as possible.
Yeah, that's the ticket. That's what I was going to say. You want to not whip it very fast. I know that we kind of have a lot going on sometimes.
When you're thinning it down.
Yeah, but you're like, oh gosh.
But white food coloring and my royal icing fixed that, really. I still have some bubbles, but yeah.
Yeah, I very rarely have bubbles once I started slowing it down a little bit.
And I learned that from Anita at Baking Sweet Hope. She was, because I love her recipe. Have you ever tried her recipe? It's Baking Sweet Hope. Her name is Anita, and it's oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. But it's half glaze, half royal icing, and I love it, and I've been using it forever. At first, I started with the Cookie Countess recipe, and I liked hers too. But then when I started mixing the glaze and the royal icing, it's awesome, and it's good for this too.
Okay,
it does watercolor beautifully. It's Franken frosting is what she first called it.
Yeah.
But then she renamed it.
Okay.
I can't remember. It's left me.
Yeah, I think when I came across a blog one time, I saw that and I wanted to try it.
I love it. And I just posted a link. If you haven't liked my page, The Colorful Cookie Stencil Studio, like my page because I post different things like that. And I did post the link to Anita's recipe and the video of her making it the other day. It's really good. Cool. And she has tips for freezing it and having a lot, stored so you can just pull it out and use it. But so someone asked about cookie spreading. Do you have a problem with that, or have you?
I will say the larger the cookie, it does spread a little bit more. Sweet Hope frosting.
Sweet Hope. Well, how could I forget that? Didn't I just say Anita Baking Sweet Hope? She renamed it. It was Franken frosting because she Frankened it together. Frankensteined it, but anyway, it is Sweet Hope frosting. Thank you, Nancy. Aloha.
So yeah, I do find that my bigger cookies do spread a little bit, but like this one's pretty big. This is actually probably the biggest cookie I've ever made, and it didn't spread as much as I thought it would, which was pretty cool. I do make sure when I am baking my cookies, I keep my dough in either the freezer or the oven, the freezer or the refrigerator, and then I only take one slab out at a time when I'm cutting my cookies, so that it stays as cold as possible. And then when I have them on the cookie tray, I put it back in the freezer for another 5 minutes or so before I put them in the oven, and that really eliminates a lot of spreading.
Yeah, and Lila Loa just did a post. I need to share that on my page too, about cookie spread and how to prevent it and some of the issues. I'll share that on my page. But like my page if you haven't, and you'll see some of those posts that I share. Not only stencils, but I share, other things besides stencils on my regular business page. In my groups, we only share stencil stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm ready for you to begin.
Are we going to start?
Yes.
Okay. So, so I'm going to do the gradient first, and I think we're going to do this cookie. Okay. So if anybody has any questions, you let me know.
I'll kind of watch.
So
Thank you, Jennifer.
If you're going to cover a pretty large portion of the cookie, You're gonna want to use the flat brush. Since I have two, I'm gonna use the bigger one.
I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't realize I had music playing in the background.
I didn't even notice.
Okay, Google, turn off. I bought a Google Home. I love that thing, but I just turned it on today, the first time. I just got it last night, and I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. Hi, April. Another Casey cookier. Actually, she's from up north, but she's a Casey cookier too.
Yeah,
and April has a page where she does tutorials.
Yes.
Sweet and Saucy Life. So if you haven't heard of her, go like her page and follow her too. She does some really cool tutorials, and she also teaches online classes. So.
Yeah, that's true. Her stuff is so cool and super helpful.
Yeah.
And she does a lot of Instagram, Facebook lives too.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm on Instagram a lot more than I am on
I'm
Facebook.
not. I am not. And I just can't get used to Instagram. I don't know.
I find it so much easier. Okay, so we're going to do the gradient. So I'm going to go ahead and just do yellow to red because I find that easier. So
you start with you start with the color that can bleed into the next without affecting it, like yellow to orange to red to, okay.
So I've realized that that's kind of orangey, so I'm going to go ahead and just put some pure yellow. Oh, there's a lot. Some pure, yeah.
You can use it.
I'm just going to put a little bit of water so it doesn't...
Did you buy your dropper at the craft store too?
So if Jenny ever watches this, she'll laugh at this, I hope. When I went to the Creative Cookier Rehab, I guess it kind of ended up with my stuff, but this is what she gave us to use to put vodka in.
I'm sure she didn't miss it.
I've been using it ever since because it's so great.
Which one? I know they have these at the craft store. I've seen them by the like model car kits and stuff, I think.
I have no idea.
Which rehab did you go to?
I went to one last October. It was the Freak Show one.
Oh yeah, Cindy taught it that one too.
Cindy taught it. It was so fun. We made the coolest stuff.
Yeah, Cindy from Sugar Chat Cookie Studio.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab a little bit of the pure yellow color. I'm gonna kind of tilt it up so you can see. And then I'm going to drop some water in, and you want to take it from your watercolor water, and so you just want to mix it, and you want it to be, you want to pretty much saturate your whole brush, okay? And then I'm just going to start in the corner here. And I didn't even follow my own advice. But you really want to try to not go over it a million times, but I kind of just
It's a habit.
It is a habit.
You have to remember one. It's sort of like trying to be random on purpose. I have a really hard time with that. Yeah, it's hard not to keep brushing in one spot.
So then all you have to do this gradient is just kind of add a little bit of red and keep going.
So this is your main pot, and this is your mixing pot. Okay. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, perfect.
And as you can see, it's starting to get a little more orangey.
Well, I don't think they can, still, oh, there you go, kind of. You'll see by the time we get the red on there, and it is hard to see, but we don't have hardly any lights in here.
So I'm just adding it more and more.
Ooh, pretty. I wish you guys, well, actually you can see it kind of really good far away.
Oh, okay.
Well, I can in the camera anyway.
And as you can see, kind of like my yellow is now getting more and more.
So it'll go, are you going to go all the way to red? Mm-hmm. So it goes from yellow to red, really, as you're mixing in there.
I kind of want to, it's probably going to be just more orange.
Yeah. The good thing about this is it's very forgiving, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. So this is cool, like if you want like a cool, just like gradient, like with
ooh, I like that.
If you're doing like a cookie cutter, like a cake, like a wedding cake or something, that would be a cool gradient to go, kind of get that watercolor wedding cake look on a cookie. So I don't know if you can see that very well.
Like watercolor on buttercream. I can see that.
Yeah.
I think they probably can. Yeah, cool.
So yeah, it went from yellow to orange.
So do you want to sit? Okay, you're gonna sit there.
Yeah, we'll let it dry a little bit. The other cool thing about watercolor on your cookies, it dries pretty quickly. So you can, what we're gonna do is put a stencil over it, so that's pretty awesome. Okay, so now I'm gonna clean my brush. Oh, I need some paper towels.
How many do you want?
Just this one to clean it up a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna move my water over here to clean it, so I don't drip it all over my pretty cookie. Okay, so then the next thing is we'll do a little spider effect. I was going to put on this one. I labeled what cookie I was going to do.
Yes. Well, when you get to talking, you forget.
Yeah, I do.
I forget half of what I'm going to say when I do a live.
So with this spider effect, you want to pretty much put water on your whole cookie, but not too much because you don't want your icing to pit. It's a pretty fine balance for what you want to do. And so you're just going to put water on all of it. And then I'm going to take my dropper and I'm going to drop the color on there. So I'm going to use my clean water, use my flat brush, and you have to work pretty quickly too.
Oh,
and
just
then
water, huh?
Yeah. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this. And then I get some of this. Okay. So then I'm going to just drop some colors on here.
Oh. I haven't done this technique. I've done the splatter and the gradient, but
I'm going to clean this off a little bit. Then I'm going to go back over with just water and drop some color in here. So it's not working very well because I kind of waited a little bit too long when I put the first watercolor on. So I'm just going to kind of...
So you have to do that quickly?
Yeah, you have to do it very quickly. So I'm just going to kind of spread it out a little bit. Sorry, that one didn't work very well. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. So it's hard to talk and do this stuff at the same time. So you have to be, as soon as you put the water down, you have to splatter it quickly. Yeah. And that's a really big cookie.
Yeah.
So that might be...
I didn't plan that out very well.
You want to do a dress maybe? It's smaller.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there it goes. I don't think they can probably see that, but I can. Oh, yeah, maybe they can. Yeah.
I think I went too far. I was trying to do it too quickly, and I went too far ahead of it. But, yeah, so it'll just splatter a little bit.
So it just kind of spreads out. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. We get the idea.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, we'll do this one. We'll do the cool splatter one.
Yes, like this little onesie. Where'd you get your onesie cutter? Did that come from Tammy?
Probably Michael's. No, yeah.
Michael's has a onesie cutter?
It came in a set. You get like a bunch of different.
Yeah. You know, we're lucky, guys, because we have so many local cookiers, and you know, we all, well, the ones that I found then to add to our Facebook group, and the word has gotten out, but we have Tammy and Joel from cookiecutter.com, and they live about, I'd say 45 minutes from here, and so we've gone on a field trip there, and it was awesome. And then, you know, we've got all these cookiers around and all these connections with people, and we can learn from each other, and it's really a lot of fun to be in a city that we do. Hey, Nick, we do have a great cookie community.
It's pretty fun.
It is fun, and we like each other, and we share, you know, we don't share secrets, but we share things with each other, techniques.
And another thing is cool, too, if one person is busy and they can't take an order.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, we'll post on our little Facebook group and see, is anybody free for this person that's in this part of the town? And it's pretty cool.
It's cool. So if you live in a town where you would like to have that happen, sometimes you just got to do it yourself. Like I did. I started a Facebook group for Kansas City Cookiers, and it grew, and I'm so glad I did because I've made more cookie friends than I can count. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
So if you want that in your community, start a Facebook group, and the word will travel, and you'll just get more cookiers joining, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and we don't have just Kansas City. Like, I feel like there's a Springfield person in our group too.
No, she's not. Jen Hill.
Okay.
Jen Hill. No, she's not. She is from Springfield, but she's not.
Okay.
Someone else asked me that, but she's not in our group.
Okay.
Yeah. JH Cookie Company. She
gotcha.
does. She does 3D printed cookie cutters, and her site. She's got some cool cookie cutters too.
Okay, so what was I? Oh, we're gonna do a splatter one. So I'm also gonna put some of the yellow over here because now that my yellow is pretty much red. And get some water.
So you thin that splatter down pretty good. So it'll splatter.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of the splatter, green needs more. Water. I almost put my brush into my clean water. It's a struggle, guys, every time. Okay.
Yes, April, that Artie meetup did light a fire. Artie Magoo films here in Kansas City.
You're so lucky.
I know, we are lucky. She comes here every quarter to film, and I think it was April who planned that first dinner last year.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Sweet and Saucy Live. And so we all got together and had dinner, and afterward I was like, thinking about, I wish there was a way we could communicate where I could talk to those people again, and we exchanged business cards or, you know, so we could find each other. But anyway, that's what sparked the idea for a Facebook group, and it was great. And we are lucky because Artie does come here, and so we get to have dinner with them when they come and all the cool cookiers too.
And we pester them to buy a house here. From Liberty.
Yeah, it was formerly, yes, the cookie cutter place was called Off the Beaten Path formerly, and then they changed the name to cookiecutter.com.
Yeah.
So, but it is the very same company, Jennifer. Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Oh, Jennifer, you need to go there. You would love it. She works, Jennifer is local too. She's in our group.
Oh, hi Jennifer.
Yep, she's new.
Okay, so we're gonna do the splatter. So really, you just need to saturate your brush, and then I take my index finger. You could probably want to do it with gloves. And get low to the cookie so you don't splatter everywhere. But you're just gonna splatter it. And then you're gonna clean your brush. And that's what's awesome about watercolor is like with your airbrush, you need to clean out the color and everything like that. But with watercolor, you can just go from color to color.
Oh, cool. So we're doing...
Yeah. So that's the splatter. And then
nice.
even though I didn't clean my brush.
Oh, that's okay, because it's lighter.
Yeah.
And it's all going to mix
So,
anyway. Cool.
Splatter.
So now when that dries, you can
We're going to be able to
stencil
over it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys real quick how to make a little rose.
Whoa, gosh. Oh, you need that still. Okay. That's okay.
And then, so basically, it's just like drawing on a cookie. You're just going to take your color. I want to make it so you guys can see it. And I'm just going to make little wavy lines.
Can you hold that closer up there and paint? Can you hold that close up and paint? Here, can I hold it while you paint? Let's see. Oh, I don't know if you can do it or not.
And you just want to like build a rose up.
Let me see. That's actually worse. Oh, there. That's a perfect spot. Okay, so there's your rose.
And then I'm going to get just a little darker color. I'm going to go ahead and use green, even though this is kind of a weird rose, but that way you can see it a little bit better.
You can always go back in and add back up just a little bit, and it's about right. Where was I? Right? No? Nope, back up. I was back further. Yeah, oh well.
Okay, and then
that's not bad right there.
you can go in and just like add more details. And you can use your smaller brush if you want.
Did you do rose diamonds? Tracy said she loves the rose diamonds that you did.
Rose diamonds. So that can dry, and then what you can do is just go back in with another color and fill in the middle part.
You're filling in the flower, I see.
Yeah. So those are kind of just like the flower petals, and then what you can do is go back once it's dry and put more color in. Like I did with this one. That yellow part that you can kind of barely see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go.
I just went back in after it was dry. And
so you just kind of kept building on the color and the
And then I just want to show you one other technique super fast. So I'm going to make my little leaf. So I'm just going to make like the general leaf. And then I'm going to get more color without the water, without more water. And I'm just going to do a little swipe.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm going to add just a little bit of water to kind of fill it in.
Just to give it some variation.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing you can do is you can clean off your brush and just, if it's mostly dry, you just don't want it to be dripping. And you can lift up your color.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. It kind of gives you a little dimensional look.
So,
pretty.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, and then this is just a little fun thing that I like to do with these dresses to make it kind of like a little Mexican dress. This is a tip 104.
Is it a Wilton?
Yeah, it's a Wilton 104, yeah.
It's a rose tip, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a rose tip. And I'm just...
You're going to have to hold it up closer. They won't be able to see. Hang on. I mean, when you do it. Sorry, guys. I should have... there. Yeah. Cool. And now that looks pretty.
Then you can put like ones
Here,
down that way.
I'll let you. Can you do it upside down?
I think so. Because I'm left-handed.
Oh, that's right. Oh, they're not seeing that now because we're hiding it. Well, oh, there you go. Cool. So you're just making little ruffles on there.
Make it kind of like a little Mexican dress. Now I do know Truly Mad Plastics, another site that makes cool cookie cutters. They have a Mexican dress cutter that has like the sides that go up. But
yeah.
This is my little take on it.
Cute. Okay. I like that.
Okay, so let's see. This one's dry, so we're going to put a stencil on it.
Yep, they're all right there. You pick. I've got I made a multi-part chili pepper, and there's one that says Fiesta.
Oh yeah,
Life is a Fiesta. I made that one.
Okay.
Life is a Fiesta.
Okay.
So. I've had some time to work on stencils the last few days, barely, but I have, and I've kind of done them quickly. Some of them are in the shop and some aren't, but.
Like we said, we don't have enough time.
I know, I need like 10 more hours in the day. Designing stencils takes a long time, really. Even when you get good at it, it's still, you know, I don't just do one. It used to take me a week to do one stencil when I first started learning. Now, you know, I do. Yes, I do. I do several.
Okay, so with stencils, you can either use an airbrush or you can scrape the stencil. I tend to like to scrape just because I like having that little bit of dimension. What is that stand you put the cookies on?
Oh, that little turntable? Yeah.
Oh, this little turntable. This is also from the Creative Cookier. It's just this little mini turntable. I love it. I have no idea how I've been decorating cookies without it.
Yeah, I have one too. And then this little mat. Oh, no. Whoops! Hey, Ringo, say hi to Ringo. Yes, Ringo, you can be in here. This is my son's dog, but he's my dog now. He lives with me. And I'm never giving him back. Okay, come on, you gotta get down. Come on, Ringo.
So I just put some icing on it, and I'm just gonna hold it down, scrape over, lift it up. Ooh. Oh, but it's gonna be mirrored, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's backwards.
Yeah.
That's my shirt.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
So
I don't know how to fix that.
hey, Ringo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cute little
Okay,
thing.
let's hold it up again.
Okay.
That is really pretty on that cookie. Life is a fiesta. And you know,
That's cute. And you want to do the chili pepper one?
yeah.
You can do that one. No, one of
Now
these
that one is a 4-part. It's got 3 colors of peppers and the whoops. Sorry, just knocked the lamp off. So this is your Air Genie Pro. I have the Air Genie Basic.
Yeah, so she has two.
Really good brush. But the difference is what? Because people always say, well, what's the difference?
It has more power.
This one has more power?
Yes, more power. Don't ask me how much more power.
Yeah.
Because what was really awesome, if you go to one of those cookie rehabs, she has awesome prizes throughout the whole weekend, and I won the big prize. Yeah.
Oh, I just turned it on.
That's the other cool thing. It has this really cool button.
It has an invisible power button. Whoops.
Okay.
And do you spray on low?
Well, I've been kind of playing with this because this was my very first airbrush.
Yeah.
And that weekend was the very first time I ever airbrushed. So I've kind of just been playing with it. So does it?
It doesn't matter which one you do first. You'll want to do the top of the peppers last.
Okay.
And you could even scrape green oil icing over that if you wanted some texture.
Oh, okay.
Or you don't have to. You can airbrush all 4 of them.
Okay.
So there should be 4 colors of peppers.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you don't want to do all 4 colors of peppers, well, no, because the stems are on all of them. So you'd have to do 3 colors of peppers. So. Okay, so do you have your airbrush colors?
Yes. Sorry,
So what brand of airbrush colors do you use? All kinds?
I actually, well, since this was the first time I ever got my airbrush, I just bought the airbrushes from Genie.
From Genie.
Yeah.
And we used hers in our last live at Cindy's. Yeah. And they were great.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Good coverage.
They're awesome.
Are they all natural too? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I know that they're fast drying.
Yeah, I can't remember. I read about them, but because I haven't bought any yet, I need to.
So I'm gonna start with yellow. That way we don't really have to clean out the brush. Also, the Pro comes with 2 guns.
Yes, that is one of the differences. Yeah, the 2 guns, and both guns come with holders for them that you slide the guns into, or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Ooh, you going high.
Oh, do I?
Yeah. I always go very low and very slow. Everybody's different though. No 2 people do.
I think I'm not patient.
You're not patient?
I'm like, let's go. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even though that was turned up, it wasn't like blowing anything away. And it's perfect.
Thank you.
Whoa. I'm impressed. I can't do that.
Thanks so much.
When I turn mine on, I have to do it low or I'm wild though. Now that's the top. You don't want that one yet.
Okay.
Just because you'll put the green over everything on the top.
Okay. That's so cute.
Oh, you know what? You have to do the green first. You need to do the green because you got to line up the green so you can line up the rest of the peppers. I wasn't thinking that far ahead.
I wasn't either.
You don't have to do the green first, but you have to do it second so you know where to line up the rest of them. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yes. Did everybody hear that for the people that are getting this stencil?
Hey, Karen! Your stencil's flip the stencil upside down so it's not mirrored. Too late. You'd have to turn the cookie over.
Oh, okay.
You can turn the cookie if you want to.
Okay.
I think there's a setting on here, actually. I've just never learned how to
We need to do like a
flip
fake.
I don't want to push any buttons.
A fake Facebook Live.
Yeah. I need to do a tester. It'd be nice if I knew.
So, like that? Because you need it to line up with some of them.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're good to go there.
Let's do.
Ooh, this is really drying pretty. Look, it's even drying brighter than it was.
Oh, cool.
This watercolor is drying brighter than when she put it on, actually.
Okay, so
if I, oh, now it's upside down, and yeah, I can't flip it. They'll never see that right side up. So I will learn how to do that the next time that I have a live. I'll practice and flip the camera so you guys can see things the right way. Hi, Laura. Yes, Maxine, everything is trial and error.
We were just talking about that.
It is. We were just talking about that. I am an airhead half of the time, and everything is trial and error for me.
So to mix some colors, just FYI, I never mix them outside of my airbrush. I just hold this, and I let it go.
Oh my gosh.
And I just mix it a little bit.
I have never done that before. Aren't you afraid it's gonna bubble over?
It won't.
Well, I just learned something new from Rachel. Wow.
I did. They told me that weekend. They're like, okay, always mix your color outside of your airbrush, and then I was like, I don't have time for that.
You aren't patient. Okay.
Oh, but I meant to put the green in here.
Oh no, that's okay.
That's okay.
Just do like just a little area, and that way you'll have a marker for when you put the other ones on. Just do one little.
Okay.
You know, maybe the top two or something.
This one.
Yeah, we can. Okay.
Okay.
Now you have a marker. Okay.
Okay.
So then let's put the. Whoops.
We get to talking too much.
Oh, you guys, we just have fun. We are certainly not perfect. Oh, nor do I claim to be. Oh, let's see. What color did you do? Red? It doesn't matter as long as we have peppers.
Yeah. This is gonna be orange.
Okay, so that's not gonna work. We had to do that one first.
Oh wait, it'll work. We can do that. Yeah, because that matches up to that one. Right? Oh, but it doesn't match up.
Are we upside down? No.
No. Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna let you do it because I can't tell. I can't even
Well,
see
that
it.
one matches, but not this one over here.
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna match because we didn't do the green first. That one.
Okay.
There. Try that. There we go. Takes a rocket scientist to
Do
figure out how to-
stencils?
Yeah. When I first do a cookie with a multi-part stencil, I have to get it down before I do the rest, you know, especially if it's, well, and this one's 4 parts, so it's unusual.
Yeah, this is actually the
But,
first 4
yeah.
part I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be awesome. And you're going to have lots of colors on there. Okay, so the next
So
one,
then the next one,
I'll get it ready while you're...
we're doing another chili. Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
so we're gonna put more red in.
You can do any color you want, really.
Well, I thought I'd just kind of stick with the girl.
Okay, so
I'm using it. I
now
haven't
we've
opened
got
that one.
that one. Oops, right there. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fine. I think. I don't know. I can't tell where that's supposed to go. I think that other one was off.
Oh, okay.
Well, we should have done the green first, guys.
Well,
live,
now,
live and learn.
yeah, now everybody knows.
To do the green first.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the, you have to do the stencil first that has the most little images on it, so you know where everything else goes. I should have known that. I made the stencil. Duh. We don't even have to use that if we don't want to.
Yeah, people get it.
Yeah.
So, if you did accidentally do the wrong thing,
We should have done the other
you
one
can
first.
just get an
There's the
edible
chili.
green marker.
Live and learn. So anyway, the chili peppers, they're really cool, and they have they have a stem on them if you actually do the green part first.
So,
go ahead and just spray some green on
okay,
there.
okay. We'll make them match up to something.
They won't match, but we'll just spray it on there anyway. Some of them will match.
So,
Or just put them orange. It's fine.
okay. Oh, thanks.
Gotta have the airbrush on.
Okay, I got some of them.
Okay, that's fine. Let's just see what.
See what that looks like.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect if they actually had peppers growing out
Yeah.
from them. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Let's try out the serrapas really fast.
Oh yes.
Okay.
So Rachel does the rainbow technique that people always say, how do you do that? With the multicolor of icing.
Yes. So she made this really cool serrapa. I don't know if you can kind of see it maybe in my shirt or something.
Thank you, Nancy. She says the chili stencil's awesome. And it really is if you do it right.
Okay, so the serrapas are like a bunch of different colors, right? So we thought it would be cool to do the watercolor effect with scraping on icing. Oh, actually, we're gonna.
You
We'll
the
just do
thick
that
one?
way.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
do it
fine.
that way. Okay, so you get your scraper.
The watercolor effect?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the multicolored?
Multicolored effect. It's like that's what they're calling that on cakes is the watercolor effect.
Really?
When
Oh,
you have like
yeah.
a bunch of. So I have this color.
I always call it rainbow.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I have.
So you actually put the color right on it. See, I always put it right on my stencil, and then I just scrape, but you just put it right on your...
Where'd those scissors go?
I don't know. Oh, right here. Oh. If it was a snake, it would have bit you.
Really would.
That's what my mom always used to tell me. If it was a snake, it would have bit you.
So I just put my color right on there.
Oh, and this is your... I have this scraper too from Creative Cookier. It's really a great...
I mean,
it's a good
just
scraper.
really got some of the best stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Just go there and have fun.
Yeah.
And so when you're scraping icing, you want it to be...
Oops, you're dripping.
Oh, sorry. You want it to be pretty thick.
Oh, you have a lot on there, yeah. You'll have to hold that up close.
I do gotta have a lot on there.
That's
but,
okay.
Oh well.
You probably need a lot.
So, I'm just gonna hold it down.
That way you can do more than, like you could do the next cookie.
Yeah.
And probably 3 with that amount.
Yeah, you can do probably pretty. So.
Cool. So there's your
Little sriracha. And then I had some, and then you can just pipe some little strings on it.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Hold it up closer. Can't see it.
Oh,
Okay.
there. Can you guys see that? No.
I don't know why the light is so bad. Because there's hardly any lights on. Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
That's really cute too.
Yeah. So I have another cookie too that we could just do the whole thing
Did that help?
as a sriracha.
Did that help?
Oh, I think it did. And the whole thing is a sriracha. Like kind of just like a big blanket. And just pipe your little strings.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that one. That's just a rectangle stencil.
Yeah.
It's just a rectangle. Yep. So that's really cool. I like how you pipe the strings. I don't know if they can see that far away. I turned out the light. That helped. See the strings? That's really cool. So you could do that on lots of different cookies.
Yeah. And you don't really need, like to do that one, you didn't really need a whole stencil to do it. I mean,
yeah, you
I don't want to put you out of business.
No. No, my main business is teaching people. I just do stencil store on the side for fun.
So you could just take your whole cookie and scrape it on.
Oh, cool. Just a rectangular shape.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Oh my gosh, you guys. There's so many things you can do with cookies, and I'm sure you guys know that already. But, so go ahead and pipe your strings.
Oh.
You know, the sriracha, they only have strings on each end, right? You know, yeah. So if you have any questions you want to ask Rachel, you guys can always type them in and we'll answer. And then I will add some of these stencils to the shop later. I've only added the chili peppers right now, but I thank you for coming. And if you want to like Rachel's page or follow her on Instagram, it's Sweet Ideas by Rachel. Here, we'll pull this back up now. There we are. Oh. And then also, I'm the Colorful Cookie Stencil Studio, and Rachel teaches classes locally.
Yes.
I have a lot of cookie friends who teach classes locally, which is wonderful, because when I started, I couldn't find any cookie classes.
Yes.
I didn't live here, though. So,
so I have a class.
Yeah, I want her to tell you about her class she's going to be teaching.
So it's going to be on April 29th at the Bower downtown in Kansas City. And I think it's on like 18th and Baltimore, around that area in the crossroads. It's $55 a person. We're going to do spring flower cookies. It's April showers, bring May flowers is the theme.
If there's any local cookies watching.
Yeah.
What color is that?
This cookie that's a bunch of different colors?
Probably. That's the last thing we just did. Purple,
Rose.
green, yellow.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Rose. Purple, green, yellow?
Yeah, purple, green, and yellow is what I use.
And then white for the strings, yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and Sometimes when I have other cookiers, we'll be back here on Thursday evenings and always post an event. And then on June 11th, mark your calendars, because a lot of Kansas City cookiers are going to come together again like we did at Cindy's a few weeks ago and have several different little tutorials going on for you guys. So thank you for watching, and catch you next time.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Rachel.
Yeah, absolutely.